Hello, would like to talk about the Cp7 review, and then which is the schoology. Please get ready for it. And then the first one, which is talking about the effects of volcanic eruption in the atmosphere, may include cloud formation. This is right because the ash from the volcanic eruption, it can provide some condensation nuclei for forming the rain or precipitation. And then acid rain formation also okay because it's talking about the sulfur dioxide and also carbon dioxide and also the HCl, and you can see right there, and it will form some acidic rain. Okay, and third one, ozone layer formation, which is also correct because a volcanic eruption can significantly accelerate the destruction of the protective ozone layer, just like the acidic gas, okay? Just like chloride compound, which is HCl, as I just mentioned, and also the sulfuric acid, and which is S2O, I've just mentioned it is going to thinning the ozone layer. But for the number 4 is not correct, okay? Which is, let me find out what is the option 4. Wait a minute. Come on. Okay. Increase of insulation. This is not right, and because in general it should be the insulation should be reduced. Okay, instead of increase. Okay. So the choice should be number 1, 2, 3 only. Number 2, which is talking about which of the following are the correct description of the major source of the greenhouse gas. Carbon dioxide, which is caused by the combustion and also deforestation. Number 1 is correct. Methane, which is talking about the biomass combustion. Is it the case? I don't think so. Okay. Number 3, photochemical reaction is producing by ozone. What is this? Which is talking about the light is going to react with the air, and then it will form our oxygen. Okay. Number 2 is also correct. What I have missed. Biomass combustion. Sorry. Because I just thought it is the biofuel. Okay. I mix up as biofuel. Sorry. And number 2, which is also correct because just like the trees and also the incineration is burning some methane by the incomplete combustion. Okay, ozone is also can be found in the upper atmosphere, and then it is formed by the photochemical reaction with oxygen atoms combined with the oxygen molecules, which is O combined with O2. Okay. And then it can protect our planet from the sun ultraviolet radiation. And for the number 4 is not correct. What is number 4? Hello. Number 4, which is talking about the chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbon, which is an artificial gas, so accordingly, no matter what kind of thing you are going to burn, it's not going to give out CFC. Okay, it's artificially made. Okay, so accordingly, CFC number 4 is not correct. Okay, and then the answer should be 1, 2, 3 only. Okay, which of the following 2012 DSE and which of the following process are transferring energy from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere at X? But where is X? It don't have the X indeed. Okay, but anyway, I just make it up later. Okay, but from here actually you can find out. Actually, you can find out here, and which is talking about the which is talking about which is talking about the basic ways of heat transference, which you should learn in IS. Okay, how do the heat being transferred? First of all, convection, and then conduction, and then radiation. 應該你IS 學過㗎啦。Okay, 1, 2, 3 only. Okay, condensation is not the case. Okay, number 30, which is number 4, and which of the following may result a rise of global temperature. First of all, rise in sea level. True, okay? Retreat of slow night, isn't it? Yes. Abnormal biological cycle of organism, also true. Okay, and then number 4, just like maybe the pattern of the migratory bird or those butterfly you have learned. The butterfly is flying 1,000 km away every year to lay their eggs in another way round. Okay, and extreme climate change, just like the El Nino and La Nina. Okay, so accordingly, 1, 2, 3, 4 are both correct. Okay, let's see. Hey, come on, can you be quicker? And then for this one, which impact will global warming have on the coastal ecosystem? First of all, coastal ecosystem, bear in mind coastal, can you see coastal, okay? And if it is talking about coastal ecosystem, the coral bleaching will take place, and then the storm damage will also take place. And then increasing pH value of the CH water, of the pH value of the seawater, I don't think so. And then retreating, because most of the time if we are going to have a hotter climate, the pH value should be reducing because it's going to be acidic instead of being alkaline, because pH value lower. If it's lower, then it is more acidic. If it's higher, then it is more alkaline. Okay, so retreating of coastline also are the problem, and which is 1, 2, 4. Because number 3, as I've said before, increasing pH value is talking about the water becoming alkaline. Okay, the water becoming alkaline instead of being acidic. Okay, so the answer should be 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Okay. Next. Refer to the diagram below to answer. Okay. Which of the following will not be an impact of global warming on area A? And which is more plants. Is it having more plants? And is it going to have more typhoon? Because plants, it's just talking about general insects population, so it won't be a very trouble situation. It will be a very common situation no matter where are you. Okay, how about typhoon? Typhoon is really going to happen? I don't think so. So because it's not in a tropical area for X. Okay, so B is the one to be picked up. Okay, how about 38, which is question number 7. Which of the following are not the reason for area to be prone into the impact of climate change? Coastal location. Is it? Yeah, is in a coastal location. High population density also are the case. Okay, low economic level also is the reason, because it's in the Bangladesh indeed. Okay, if you really know that place, it is Bangladesh. Okay, and for the D is talking about large amount of greenhouse gas emission. Is it the case? I don't think so, because Bangladesh itself is not is a LDC, and then the LDC is not really going to provide a lot of greenhouse gases, and then because their economic development is not very strong. Okay, and number 8, which of the following are greenhouse gas? Methane, true. Carbon monoxide, is it? How about carbon dioxide? Carbon monoxide, actually, bear in mind, is not the greenhouse gases. Okay, because all the way around we are having carbon dioxide is more heavier than the carbon monoxide. Okay, in terms of the atomic structure. Okay, so number 2 or number 3, either one should be the wrong answer. But apart from, we should know that carbon dioxide is the right answer. So number 2 is the wrong answer. So the answer should be 1, 3, and 4. Nitrous oxide also are the greenhouse gas, no problem at all. The above map shows the cities of A and B. Which of the following comparison correctly describe the insolation characteristic of city A and city B in July? First of all, city A is in Highland Island right here, and the amount of insolation is more, while the city B is having a less insolation. True or false? True. Okay, this one is okay because city A is in a lower latitude, meanwhile the B is in a higher latitude. Okay, and then the angle of insolation. Angle of insolation should become the same as the amount of insolation. Larger angle of insolation, larger amount of insolation. Smaller angle of insolation, smaller amount of insolation. Extent of sunshine. What's extent of sunshine? Which is talking about rather the sunshine is covering a lot of area. Indeed, extent of sunshine should be in a negative correlation with the angle of insolation as well as the amount of insolation. So, number 3 is not correct. OK， 中文講多次，extent of sunshine 咧就係話佢個光咧，太陽光啊，OK is 係到底佢係散啦，抑或聚焦？咁若果我係低緯度嘅話，啲太陽光應該係聚焦啊嘛，lower angle concentrated area and then the sun ray have been concentrated in a smaller area. Okay, so number 3 is not correct. How about number 4? Indeed, the answer is quite obvious. Okay, but let's go for number 4. Duration of sunshine. City A is longer and then city B is shorter. Isn't it the case? It varied. Okay, indeed. Okay, but for July, indeed it should be the highest the largest angle overhead sun. It should be in the Tropic of Cancer, and if it's in the Tropic of Cancer, then it should be the city A having a longer city B having a longer duration of sunshine instead of city A having a longer duration of sunshine. So number 4 is also wrong. The answer should be 1 and 2 only. Okay, which is A, A, yeah. Okay, and number 10, which of the following results from global warming? Result from global warming, bear in mind. Okay, number 1, rainfall abnormalities, true, and then number 2, which is the most severe tropical windstorm, tropical cyclone. Sorry. Okay, and it is also true. How about lower evaporation rates? It's wrong because more higher temperature, it should have higher evaporation rate. So you can see how easy is this, and then the answering rate is quite high. Okay, which of the following, number 11, which of the following they correctly explain the effectiveness of the of a mass transit system in alleviating the global warming? Higher energy efficiency, isn't it? True. Okay, reduction of the greenhouse gas emission, isn't it? True also. And how about number 3? Is it going to lower the private car ownership ratio? Maybe think about like this. Oh, if we are having more railway, is it really going to ban us from owning a car? I don't think so. So number 3 is not really having a direct relationship with the mass transit system. So number 1 and 2 only, which is A. Canada pulls out from the Kyoto Protocol. Number 12. Okay, the above new title reflected that the high latitude countries may benefit from the impact of global warming. Is it the case? I don't think so, because it's just about whether it's they are willing to join the Kyoto Protocol or not, and then no matter they are joining or quitting, they are also suffering or enjoying, no matter suffering or enjoying the benefit or the problem by the global warming. Okay, the cause of number 2, the cost of cutting the carbon dioxide emission in the more developed countries is high. Okay, this one is quite true because at least just like the labor of the Canada, which is United States, they have quit the Kyoto Protocol again, and then also the Paris Agreement, they have quit and joined again. So you can see there are some hindrance of making the NDC not really going to join the international cooperation agreement. Okay, number 3, international cooperation in combating global warming is difficult, and you can see right here many people, many countries in and out. So number 2 and 3 is the correct answer. Okay, and then number 13th. Which of the following is the evidence of global warming? Retreating glacier, is it the case? I think is quite direct and then really low doubt. Okay, seasonal melting of sea ice, is this related to the evidence of global warming, which is talking about it's going to be in the summer is going to be melt a lot for the sea ice in Arctic area. Okay, but is it related to global warming? I don't think so, because it's just the seasonal change but not the long-term change. Okay, so number 2 is not correct. And how about number 3? Expanding deserts, true, because the higher temperature will make the deserts become more evaporated, and then the drier climate will taking place in the marginal land, and then the expanding deserts will occur. Okay, number 14th, and number 14th, which is talking about which of the following is a benefit of the global warming. Okay, increasing tropic area of the tropical rainforest lower, because you should know that the tropical rainforest is having lower and lower in extent. Okay, increasing in the long-term fresh water supply, is it the case? No, because it's just a short term, even though the fresh water supply can be enhanced by the melting of ice cap. Okay, but it's not really going to have a lot. Okay, reducing heating costs of the temperate region, just like Japan, just like UK, and then the because it's quite cold in the winter, and then there will be more heating costs incurred in the winter. But right now we are having global warming, which is talking about in the winter there may be more higher temperature, and then the heating cost, the cost spent on heating will be reduced. Number D, lengthening of growing season sounds right, but let's see the entire sentences, which is no latitude countries. Okay, which is not the case, because high latitude countries will help, but for low latitude countries is not the case. Okay, so the answer will be C. Okay, this one, number 15. This one refers to the amount of insolation. When you see the word insolation, which is always talking about the sunlight, okay? And then you can see in the sunlight, the amount of insolation is high in the northern hemisphere, okay? It's quite high in this side, northern hemisphere, quite high. But for the southern hemisphere, it's not that high, okay? So what are the following are correct, okay? The overhead sun is located in the equator, isn't it? I don't think so, because the overhead sun should be right here, because it's in the 30 degrees Celsius, is the having the largest energy amount, okay, but not the 0 degree. The northern hemisphere having longer duration of sunshine, so that of the southern hemisphere, truly, because once the overhead sun is in the specific hemisphere, and then it will become the longer daytime. Okay, so accordingly number 2 is correct. How about number 3? Number 3 is talking about the winter. Winter is in the southern hemisphere also, because the northern hemisphere is having summer right there. Okay, and vice versa, the southern hemisphere is having winter indeed. Okay, just like right now it may be start to be hotter in Hong Kong, and then the Australia is getting cooler. Okay, maybe the in vice versa, during the Christmas time, Australia is having a hotter climate, and then the Santa Claus may likely to wear a lot of clothes. Okay, so number 2 and number 3 is correct for the number 15. Number 16. Which of the following statements are correct? X is having a lower mean temperature than Z. True啦 because the X is having higher latitude 個緯度高啲啦。OK. Y is having a larger annual range of temperature than X. Wrong because Y is in the coastal area next to the sea 啊嘛。Okay, and for the X is in the inland. So X is having a larger temperature range indeed. Z have an uneven seasonal distribution of solar radiation than Y. Is it the case? No, because for the area that next to equator, the annual temperature range is not very strong. Okay, because they are having generally they are having 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Okay, so the answer should be number 2 and number 1 is number 2 is wrong, and then number 1 and number 3 is number 1 is correct only. Sorry. Okay, number 2 and number 3 is wrong. Okay, which should be A. Which of the following gas absorb long-wave radiation, which is greenhouse gas from the Earth's surface? Water vapor carbon and also don't forget, you have seen this in the previous question already. Okay, the CFC. Indeed, the CFC is also the greenhouse gases. Okay, so accordingly 1, 2, 3 are correct. Okay, 1, 2, 3 are correct, which is dog. Okay, the answer is dog, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, and then number 18th. Number 18th is talking about the concentration of nitrous oxide and also the increase of Earth's surface temperature from 1050 to 2050. Okay, which of the following statements are correct? The trend of the nitrous oxide concentration is related to the increase of numbering activities. Is it the case? I don't think so. Mainly, is talking about the production of nylon and also the production of chemical fertilizer, which will lead to the uprising of the nitrous oxide. Okay, the project trend of temperature may be affected by the lack of international intergovernment cooperation. Is it the case? It may be true because right now you can see the increasing rate is increasing. Okay, and then which is talking about the government intergovernment is not really going to doing so much to reduce the carbon dioxide emission, and the global warming will be becoming worsen. True lah. Okay, so number 2 and 3 is correct. The answer should be C. Okay. Number 19th. What possible threats may country X face under the global warming? Inundation of settlement. True lah. Destruction of coastal ecosystem. Also true. Adverse impact on the tourism. Also true, which is the number 19th, which should be dog. Okay, and then number 20 lah. Number 20, which is talking about what are the effects of the global warming in region P. P is talking about the lengthening of the growing season. Is it going to affect this situation? I don't think so, because it is quite it's quite a wait a minute. It's also a impact of the global warming. Okay, for the region P, because even though it's inland, but it's still in a high latitude, so the growing season can be enhanced. Number 2, the acceleration of the desertification, also true, because if we are having a higher temperature, and then the evaporation rate will be higher, and then the desertification rate will also be higher. Okay, a rise in sea level. Okay, can you see sea next to it? I don't think so. So the answer should be 1 and 2 only. 1 and 2 only. Okay. Which of the following, number 21, which of the greenhouse gas and their source are correctly matched? First of all, methane. Is it produced by the landfill? True. Okay. Number 2, nitrous oxide, which is produced by the nylon producing factory. Is it the case? Also true. Okay. Number 3, carbon dioxide. Is it going to make up by the thermal power plant? Also true. So all of them are correct. Okay. I don't think there's a great problem here, but I don't know why half of the candidate on that time make it wrong. But you should know it throughout the teaching day by day. Okay. Number 14. Which of the following statements are correct? Global warming occurred since 1850, isn't it? Not really. Okay, because you can see right here, which is lower than the normally. Okay. How about the global warming start at 1980? Is it the case? It should be. It should be. The global warming anomaly in 2010 is approximately 0.47. Is it the case? Also true lah, because you can see here, which is around 0.47. Okay, and it should be number 2 and number 3. Okay. Referring the figure below, which shows the temperature for the sea level, which is 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, which of the following statement is correct? Okay, the temperature at 3000 m is approximately 12 degrees. So what should you do? There's a term called the environmental lapse rate. Okay, what is environmental lapse rate? When we are going to increase 1000 meters and then the temperature will reduce 6 degrees Celsius. So accordingly we are having some increase of the decrease of the temperature. Okay, and accordingly we are having 3000 increase of height, and accordingly the temperature should be reduced to approximately 12 degrees Celsius. Most of the heat in long wave radiation is lost at the summit. Also true, because why is it cooler in the mountain? Because the air is less dense, and then more heat is lost. Okay, during this situation. Okay, the summit is covered up by the ice. Not true, because you can see number 1 and number 3 is having some logical inconsistency right there, and then number 1 and number 3, either one should be correct. Then if you think number 1 should be correct, then number 3 should be wrong. Okay, this is a usual situation that you can deal with the MC. Okay, number 24. Which of the following are the possible label for the y-axis in the above graph? First of all, range of temperature. Range of temperature. If cloud cover more, the range of temperature should be lower. True, because just like a blanket. Okay, if you cover yourself with a blanket, then the fuel heat is lost, and then the zero range of temperature will be reduced. So accordingly, number 1 is correct. Loss of long wave radiation. And it should be also correct. It should be also in a negative correlation, because it's talking about if we are having like a blanket again, the cloud cover is just like a blanket again, and if we have a blanket, and then the loss of the heat will be reduced. So accordingly, number 2 is also correct. How about counter radiation? Counter radiation should be in a positive correlation. Okay, because you should know that the counter radiation is talking about like this one, which you can find the counter radiation in here. Okay, EZ. Okay, this one. Okay, so if we are having more cloud, then the counter radiation should be more. Okay, so it's in a positive correlation. So accordingly, number 1 and 2 is wrong. Okay, number one and two is right, sorry. Okay, and number three is wrong. Okay, yeah. And then number 25, greenhouse gas emission may be reduced by developing a mass transit system. Okay, improving the efficiency of the energy use, also not bad. Yeah. Okay, and then promoting the use of renewable energy, also okay. So is it all correct? Yeah, it's all correct. So the answer should be D. Okay. Number 26, not really going to talk about this, spend a lot of time on this. Okay. Number 26, which of the following are the possible label for the x-axis in the above graph? Intensity of solar radiation at the Earth's surface, and then angle of solar radiation, which is talking about rather the angle of sun is large or small. Okay. Number 1 is correct because if we are having a larger angle of sun, then the intensity should be stronger, right? And then how about number 2? Number 2 is talking about aerosol. What is aerosol? 中文叫氣溶膠 okay? Which is talking about the suspended particulates in the atmosphere. So if we are having more aerosol, which is talking about we are having more blockage and more condensation in the air. So number 2 is not correct. And also the cloud cover also lies in the same way. Okay, so if we are having more cloud cover, then the solar radiation will not be strong. So A, 1 only. Okay, so right here, number 27, which of the following is the purpose of the design shown in the above photograph, which is talking about the vertical greening? Number 1, reduce the energy consumption. True, because we can reduce the aircon inside the houses and it can reduce the electricity consumption. They'll enhance the absorption of carbon dioxide from atmosphere. Is it the case? Number 2 is also correct, okay, because if we are having some vertical greening, then the carbon sink will increase, the carbon dioxide absorption will be increased, okay, and then this is going to be a stronger absorption, okay. To lower the maintenance cost of the building, it is not okay because it's not quite related to the vertical greening, okay. Let's see, rather I have make it wrong or right or wrong. Number 2 is also false, okay. Number 2, sorry, I mixed it up, okay. Number 2 is also because the general vertical greening is not extensive enough and which is substantial enough to make the having a lot of absorption of carbon dioxide, just like I'm going to deforestate the tropical rainforest. Is it going to affect create a lot of global warming? No. Okay, it's not substantial enough to create this. Okay, and also right here, the little greens is not substantial to make the global warming happens. Okay, so number 1 is correct answer. Number which is A. Okay, number 28. Number 28, which is talking about the greenhouse gas. What kind of thing will be produced by these human activities? But this one is the energy generation plant. Okay. Number 1, chlorofluorocarbon. Will this happen? No lah, because chlorofluorocarbon is made up by the refrigerant, coolant, those kind of thing. The synthesis of refrigerant and also the coolant, that this kind of thing, or the foams. Okay. So number 1 is nothing related to the energy generation plant. Okay. Number 2, carbon dioxide. Okay. Because it is going to burn the fossil fuel. And then how about nitrous oxide, which is also okay because during the production situation, and then there's a lot of energy, and then making the oxygen and nitrogen join together. So number 2 and 3 is correct. Number 29, X is short wave radiation. Why? is long wave radiation. How about Z? Counter radiation. Not really difficult. Okay, bear in mind the ray come from sun is short wave. The ray come from the heat that absorbed already by the ground and we emit back to the space or sky is long wave. Okay, the radiation blocked by the cloud is counter radiation. Okay, so A is the case. Number 30. Which of the following factors affect the amount of insolation received on the Earth's surface? Slope aspect. True, because you should know it in the chapter of aspect. If we are having a north face the slope in the southern hemisphere and the sun ray is blocked, okay, if in vice versa, if you are having a south face slope which is in the northern hemisphere and then north face slope in the southern hemisphere, it will be warmer because it's facing the sun, but the south facing slope in the southern hemisphere, it is less warmer because it's blocked by the mountain. Okay, and vice versa for the northern hemisphere. Okay, so number 1 is right. Number 2, angle of insolation. Angle of insolation definitely affecting the amount of insolation. Okay, nature of Earth's surface also okay, because the reflection rate will affect the insolation being absorbed. Okay, if there's ice and then most of the light will be reflected and then the amount of insolation received on the Earth's surface will be reduced. Number 31. Wow, this one always having this one. Okay, every year always having this one. Okay, CTX is having a higher summer temperature, isn't it? Yeah, compared with Y, it should be having a higher temperature because the inland area absorb and release heat faster. Okay, so in the summer they absorb the heat faster. Okay, dual range and annual range of temperature. Bear in mind, these two pairs always come into the same way. Okay, which is dual temperature range increase, annual temperature range will also increase because both of them reflecting the absorbed heat situation. So which is one of them is wrong. Okay, number 2, let's see. Dual range of temperature for the X is greater. True, because X absorb and release heat faster, and for the CTY absorb and release heat slower because it's in a coastal area, more water is right there, and then there will be more smaller temperature range. Okay, annual temperature range, then this is wrong because it doesn't make sense. Okay, because dual temperature will come in the same way as the dual temperature range. Okay, which of the following gas can absorb long wave radiation? Methane, chlorofluorocarbon, and water vapor. You have seen this for the third time already throughout this schoology video. Okay, so can you answer? 1, 2, 3 are both greenhouse gas. Okay, don't say chlorofluorocarbons or water vapor or methane is not the greenhouse gas. All of them are greenhouse gas. Okay, number 33. The consequence of the global warming may include increasing the mean sea level. True. Okay, increasing the concentration of greenhouse gas. Because we are having the greenhouse gas and then we are having the global warming. So it's not the consequence of global warming. Instead, it should be the cause of global warming. So accordingly, number 2 is not correct. And how about reducing the extent of the sea ice and the glacier? This is also correct. So number 1 and 3. Okay, which of the following, number 34, which of the following factors affect the temperature of an area? Altitude. True, because as I said before, the environmental lapse rate 1,000 meters higher, and then we are going to reduce 6.5 degrees Celsius. And ocean current also the case, because just like the case of London, and which is the same latitude with the Moscow, and then because they are enjoying the north Atlantic drift, which is a warmer ocean current, then they are warmer than Moscow. Okay, and how about the prevailing wind? Okay, I think this one is also related. Okay, so this one is right as well. Okay, so all of them are correct. Dog. Okay, wow, how come these things comes again? Okay, please remember that y and x always coming. Okay, x is talking about the angle of solar radiation. This is true because latitude higher, then we are having smaller radiation, and then the y, city y, since the latitude is lower and then the insolation is larger. How about mean annual mean temperature? As I've said before, fewer temperature, lower, fewer insolation, lower temperature. So X is also right. Number 2, Y is also since we are having a larger insolation and then the temperature is higher. How about the range of temperature? It's not that case because X is always having a larger annual range of temperature because you are right there may suffering a longer period of day length, and then it is going to be a stronger any range of temperature. So number 1 and 2 is correct, which is A. Okay, which of the following human activities and the source of greenhouse gas are correctly matched again and again and again, always like this. Okay, methane is done by agriculture, just like the floats of the cows, cattle, so on and so forth. So number 1 is correct. Waste incineration, when you are going to burn something, carbon dioxide will come out, also okay. Manufacturing of chemical fertilizer, nitrous oxide will come out, also okay. So 36, it is dog. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 also all right. Okay. Number 37, which of the following are the impact of the global warming on the agriculture? The intensification of global pest problem. True, because you may find a lot of looters is flying around the India, Africa, as well as even China. Okay, so number 1 is correct. Number 2, the lengthening of the drought period in a semi-arid region is also okay. How about number 3? The extension of growing season in higher latitudinal area. This is also correct. Okay, because right now, since we are having a more warmer climate, and then all the way the growing season, the frost-free period will be longer, since the insolation or the temperature of the particular place will be stronger. So number 1 and 2 and 3 dot. Okay. Again, wow, how come it comes again? Which of the following factors may affect the air temperature of a place? Latitude, altitude, and also cloud cover, all correct. Like, come on, okay? Don't tell me you don't know this, okay? Number 39. Which of the following is the rate of heat transfer from Earth's surface to atmosphere? Okay? Short wave radiation is definitely wrong. Okay, because short wave radiation is talking about the sun ray to the Earth's surface. Okay, how about number 2? Number 2, long wave radiation, correct, which is talking about the Earth's surface transferring the heat to the atmosphere. So number 2 is correct. How about number 3? Number 3 also correct. You may refer to here. You may refer to this question. Is it atmosphere, Earth's surface going to the atmosphere for Y and Z? Y is long wave radiation and Z is the counter radiation. So 2 and 3, the answer should be. Let's see, wait a minute. Oh, 2 only. Oh, because counter radiation is to the cow only, but it's a bit how to say, in between. Okay, atmosphere, is it the cow? Okay, but anyway, I know it. Okay, I know that the cow is not in atmosphere anyway, but indeed it should be in the atmosphere. But anyway, they are trying to specify cow. Maybe it is better to specify is from the Earth's surface to the cow. Okay, seldom get it wrong. Finally, I get it wrong now. Okay, and then for the 40. Which of the following statement above the figure are correct? The duration of daylight of 12 hours is in the equator, isn't it? Isn't it? I don't think so, because you can see the Earth axis is tilted, and then where is the overhead sun? The overhead sun is striking to the 23.5 degree latitude. Okay, so what is happening? But is it the overhead sun going to be determined the daylight is having 12 hours? No. Okay, so accordingly, this is right, because the 0 degrees we have to refer to here. Okay, it's in the middle. The 0 is in the middle. So number 1 is correct. Okay, how about number 2? The angle of sun is the largest at the Tropic of Cancer. This one riser, because I've just told you this overhead sun. This one overhead sun, the middle one. Okay, is striking the 23.4 degrees north, which is the Tropic of Cancer. It's winter in the southern hemisphere, also the case, because you can see the whole almost large proportion of the southern hemisphere is located in the shade. Okay, so number 1, 2, 3 are both correct. The answer should be dog. Wow, this one is a bit difficult. Which of the following are the major benefits of the global warming for farmers in the higher latitudinal regions? Reduction in pest problem. Is it? Not really. It should be increasing. From the case of the different looters, as I've said before, the looters is fighting around the Africa, India, and also the even China. Okay, you may argue with me. Oh, is it high latitudinal area? Well, not related with not related with China, not related with the India. But indeed, China, some of the area in China is still the high latitudinal area. So number 1 is not correct. Okay, number 2, increase in crop varieties. True. Okay, because we can grow a tropical species even in the subtropical area. So number 2 is correct. Longer growing season is also the case. So number 2 and 3 is correct. Number 2 and 3 is correct. The answer should be C. Okay. And then which of the following are the consequences? Always asking consequence, impact. You can see 43 there is actually almost the same as 41, but it's just 1 year between. Okay, so crazy. Which of the following are the consequence of the global warming? First of all, inundation of the island countries. True. Reduction of the short-term freshwater supply. Not the case, because the short-term freshwater supply, indeed it should be increasing because of the melting of ice. Okay, if it's long-term, it's correct, but right now it's short-term, it's not correct. So number 2 is not correct. And then spread of tropical disease, just like the dengue fever, and then also malaria, so on and so forth. So number 1 and 3, okay, is the correct answer. Number 43. Which of the following are the impact of the global warming in the high latitude region? Acceleration of the glacier melting. True. And then increase of land surface albedo. But what is albedo? Albedo, in short, which is talking about the refraction rate. So what kind of things are going to reflect much? Should be ice, isn't it? Should be the ice, isn't it? So if we are having global warming, then we shouldn't have have that much ice, isn't it? Then how about the albedo? Albedo should be reduced because we are changing from ice to some land area, okay, without ice. So the land surface albedo will be decreasing. So number 2 is wrong. Shortening of frost-free season, no, because right now, as I've said before, we are changing from ice covered situation to the non-ice covered situation. All the ice is melted, so the frost-free period should be longer. Okay, so number 1 is correct only. So the answer is A. Okay, how come it's you again? Okay, always asking this map. For the area P, dual temperature range is larger, and then for the area Q, dual temperature range is smaller, isn't it? True. And then, as I've said before, dual range of temperature and annual range of temperature should be in the same line. Okay, so dual temperature range is right, and then annual range of temperature is also right. Okay, how about number 3? Mean annual temperature Q is having hotter climate than P, isn't it? So it's also right. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, dog. Which of the following are the evidence of global warming? Retreat of glacier, true. And then the intensification of storm, true. Delay of plant germination is also affecting, isn't it? Yes. Okay, because the temperature is at may make up, but wait a minute, plant germination delay is not the case because it's getting warmer always. So number 1 and 2 only. Okay, number 1 and 2 only. Okay, because number 3 it should be earlier. The plant germination time should be earlier instead of later. Okay, because we are getting warmer, and then when the plant feel it's okay, it's quite warm, and then I can germinate now. Okay, I can develop from seed to a seedling. But right now we are getting warmer, so the plant germination time should be earlier instead of later. Okay, so number 1 and 2, C. And number 46. Which of the following are the factors affecting the amount of solar energy absorbed at a place? Again, it's you again. In a temperate region, altitude, true. Aspect, also true. Nature of land surface, is it the case? Wait a minute. Be careful. It's not about temperature. Okay, Mr. Leung also overlooked that. Okay, it's talking about solar energy, but not the temperature. If it's temperature, altitude, okay. But if it's not temperature, solar energy is not really going to affect by the altitude, because the altitude is talking about the temperature and also about the solar radiation. When the solar radiation striking to the earth, and it just depends on the top of the atmosphere instead of the lower part of the atmosphere. Okay, so number 1 is not correct, so the answer should be 2 and 3. Okay, so that's the end of the schoology. Thank you.